Hey guys, this is a market update. 3 things about Bitcoin in this video. Firstly, what is the inflation figure going to be tomorrow? It's released tomorrow and will affect the market. Second thing, what does the market think it's going to be versus what it actually will be? And then the third thing is, over the next 6 months, where is the market positioning itself? We've seen a lot of investment banks come out and actually call the bottom for crypto right now. So I'll talk about that because that's obviously important. We've been watching this ascending triangle for maybe 10 plus days now. It's been playing out perfectly. You've seen the technical pattern just play out with now 3 tests of this resistance. The third time, if it gets rejected, usually means that the pattern breaks down. So as we're looking here, we have a very clear resistance level at this level right here at 24,000. And so, like I said in previous videos, expect for the volatility to come down and down and down, which we've seen, and now is decision time. So the CPI figure tomorrow is 8:30 Eastern time in the States, and the market is actually expecting inflation to have peaked, or the growth of inflation to have peaked. So that is why you've seen the bottom forming and these higher lows, because the market has been pricing this in already. So the only way we're going to get a bullish break from here is if inflation is actually lower than the market even expects, and the market expects it to be lower. So obviously this is a crunch time. Max pain would be for us to kind of, bob around this level, maybe even test this 21 low. But really what I'm looking for is the next level of resistance at 30. And I think actually this support at 21 is kind of the levels right here. The market has changed in terms of its inflation expectations and what it expects. And so that is why a lot of investment banks are saying, potentially the low is in for crypto, but we'll have to wait and see if they're correct on that. So an interesting chart here from Will Clemente on Twitter is that what you can see right here is bids and offers on the order book. So this is on Coinbase. All of these yellow, as you can see down here, these are bids on the order book. So what this suggests is that there are a lot of buyers at lower levels. These are anywhere from around 18,000 down to 10,000. A lot of people are calling for that as the low, and so you obviously have a lot of these orders in. He remarks that the last time that there were bids of this size and scale and this amount on the order book below the price was down in March 2020, and we know what happened then. Can we draw that through to now? I don't think so. We're in a totally different environment. That was with COVID, and obviously what happened was the biggest debasing of currency the world's ever seen. We're not going to get that again because inflation is way, way too high. And so these are probably just bidders that do want to accumulate, but they may not bid up, and we may not see a huge rise like we did in 2020 and 2019. But interesting to see this play out again with many people looking to step in the market here. And as we know, if you have a lot of buyers at these levels, they often don't get filled, and they often have to chase the price up. If people have cash on the sidelines and they want to get into Bitcoin, this is obviously suggesting that there is a lot of demand here, and obviously the price is going to keep getting pushed up to try and make them pay up. We're going to have a look at CPI figures then and what the investment banks think. Firstly, if you do trade cryptocurrency, get a $4,000 deposit bonus on Bybit. Just deposit crypto or fiat there. They'll give up to $4,000 as a deposit bonus in your futures trading account. I'll leave that link in the description. You can check it out. So what does UBS think inflation is going to be? As you can see, moderate monthly headline increase is what they think. The consensus, according to them, is 0.22 as a rise in CPI. They think it's going to come in around 0.14. So they're actually slightly more bullish on CPI and inflation coming down. You can see that 12-month inflation from 9.1 to around 8.75%. So inflation is still going up. It's just that inflection point of it not going up at an increasing rate evermore. And actually the rate of change is starting to tick down. And we've all seen commodity prices and oil and everything now coming off. So that's why the market's rallied. It's because it's expecting inflation to start coming down. As you can see here, regular gasoline pump prices are down 83 cents per gallon since their June peak. but food prices are expected to continue moving up strongly with another, above 1% increase in July. So yeah, this is very typical. There's going to be some areas where, prices remain very high and some areas where it just falls off because of a lack of demand. What we can see here as well is that housing and rent prices are extremely high, but other things are starting to tick down. This actually plays out as well. A lot of recessions start with this, where just the base level of cost is too much for people to bear. And so a lot of that demand for other services gets kicked out of the economy, and that's where recession starts. So, inflation will be coming down and the market expects that. But now we're looking forward 6 months and say, well, how far is it going to go? That's really the next level, because if it comes down a lot to, the 2% target, then obviously that's great for markets. But if it stays sticky and remains high, that's a risk to the upside with Bitcoin for sure. What is driving the next leg of growth for crypto? JP Morgan thinks that it's Ethereum, and that makes a lot of sense, not only because I think they hold a bunch of Ethereum anyway, but they think that basically the narrative here is Ethereum and not Bitcoin because of the merge. I also agree with this. If you are trading this, by the way, as you can see, they think the real driver has been the Ethereum merge. If you're trading this is the chart right here of Ethereum against Bitcoin. And as I've said in previous videos, we're reaching historical resistance levels. Now, if the merge goes well, the next testnet is basically this week. If that passes, then they're going to fix a date for the merge. And then the merge, obviously, that's crunch time. Will it go through well or not? If it does, then we must expect this resistance to be broken right here. Like I've said in previous videos, when we just came back to this uptrend, will we go and test these support levels? We haven't. We've actually carried on, and now we're hitting this resistance level here. So if we break through this, then you have to assume we're going to be testing potentially all-time highs in terms of the value of the ETH versus Bitcoin. And so there's still a long way for this trade to go. My only risk factor here is that the ETH trade is becoming a very crowded trade. And when that happens, the risk of you not having a good trade here obviously becomes much higher because so many more people in it. It's going to get overdone. You don't want to get in too high here. So if you are looking to trade, if we're seeing ETH come up to around this level, around 83 against Bitcoin, just be sure that you're not FOMOing in here and getting stuck at the very highs, and then the merge comes and there's like a short, sharp sell-off with profit taking. So if you're looking at it, just make sure you're getting in at good levels and taking profits at these resistances rather than getting stuck in at the top. So I do think the market has already priced in an easier CPI figure, hence this rise that we've seen from 20,000 up to 24. Anything surprising to the downside in CPI will, I think, see us try to reach new levels with Bitcoin to the upside. But anything really sticky, and especially we need to hear what the Fed says towards the end of August in terms of, do they think the job is done? Are they flipping? Or actually, do they think they need to whack the market even more? It's a really, really important time for Bitcoin and the rest of crypto, because all of that is coming right around the ETH merge as well. If everything slots into place and actually the Fed ease off and flip and become dovish and the Ethereum merge goes through, I think we're just going to reach very, very lofty levels again. But if it isn't, if there's something wrong with the merge, or if the Fed come out and say job isn't done, we're going to have to whack it even more, then there could be more pain ahead. Really difficult to understand where the market is going to go, because you have to be reliant on what the Fed is saying. If you want the Bybit deposit bonus, I'll leave that link in the description. I'm James with MoneyZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.